5%. At a certain point in the league's existence, I'm gonna need for Kelsey Mitchell to get the same whistle as each other stars. The way she gets assaulted is insane, actually, and I've considered roping my sister in it to have off his first charges. Now, this is when Caitlin Clark chimed in. Caitlin Clark said, "Careful, you're going to get fined." Then Sydney Colson said, "I can't."
The WNBA has been hit with another major controversy as Caitlin Clark and Sydney Colson speak out against what they see as ongoing referee bias. This time, they aren't holding back. The Indiana Fever stars are calling out double standards they believe are some of the most glaring in professional sports. Here's how the firestorm began, and why it could shine a spotlight on one of the league's biggest issues.
Who paying you, ref? Who you betting on? And mind you, there was some problems going on with the shot clock throughout the game. But man, there is no way. Right at the end of the game, you should be on top of it. You telling me you're not paying attention to when some hands touch that ball? Come on, man. And then to reward them with the timeout, like, fam, that's crazy work. Look, Caitlin Clark, like, what is going on here? Like, no. Caitlin ready to run the floor, fam.
The drama unfolded after the Indiana Fever's nail-biting 76-75 win over the Los Angeles Sparks on August 29th. What should have been a night of celebration quickly turned into controversy. Watching from home while recovering from a torn ACL, Sydney Colson saw something that left her furious.
There is one referee. We definitely have to check for betting slips for this guy right here. I think his name is like Agun Agazi, because it sure seemed like he did not want to let the Fever take away this win, making the last 1.9 seconds last almost 5 minutes. He was just like letting them call a reset timeout, and then he was like, no, it's a foul. But I think the worst part about that 1.9 seconds was when 0.4 seconds was left on the clock, and Kelsey Mitchell was at the free throw line. She was trying to miss on purpose because that takes time off of the clock, because if she would have made it in, they would have been able to inbound and possibly do a tip in. But this guy allowed a reset timeout. When do you allow a reset timeout with 0.4?
In the second quarter, Kelsey Mitchell drove hard to the basket when Kelsey Plum grabbed and pulled her to stop the play. The foul was so blatant that even fans sitting in the upper rows could see it instantly.
Oh, there's Aaliyah. You gave them every chance to win. If you look at this in slow motion, you can see Caitlin Clark clearly smiling in confusion, smiling in, did that really just happen? Smiling in, you slide W. And she says, she points at the other team, you gave them every chance to win. Oh, goodness gracious. Caitlin Clark, she's chomping at the bits to start talking to these referees during the game, during free throws.
Yet, unbelievably, the referees swallowed the whistle, as if they were watching an entirely different game. Mitchell still powered through to finish the layup, but the no call left its mark. The Fever bench erupted in frustration, and that's when the real drama began.
What everybody saw in that game. Like, it didn't really matter what was going on. We all knew what was happening. We all knew what was happening there. And the game was being given. The game was absolutely being given to the Sparks. They were giving the Sparks every single chance possible to go and win that game. Even though realistically, did they deserve to win that game? Hell no. Hell no. They did not. And I mean that. They did not deserve to win that.
Even while sidelined with an injury, Caitlin Clark couldn't hold back. She jumped up from the bench, shouting at the referees, "Call it. Call it." Her teammate Lexi Hull joined in, rising from her seat to protest. Instead of addressing the missed foul, the officials slapped Hull with a technical. Think about that. Hull gets punished for reacting, while the player who committed the foul walked away untouched.
Please tell me y'all saw Caitlin Clark, the GOAT. Y'all saw Caitlin Clark crash out on the bald head ref last night. Please tell me y'all saw this. And she had Caitlin Clark spazzed on the referee last night. And I'm not mad about it. I see a lot of the haters talking about, oh, she be doing too much with her. Man, mind your business. You are not in a GOAT's place, so stay out of a GOAT's business, okay? It's that simple. The officiating was awful last night. I don't know what was going on in that Los Angeles Sparks Indiana Fever game, but the officiating was flat.
If you're enjoying this, don't forget to subscribe. Now, here's where things really took off. Watching the chaos from her living room, Sydney Colson finally had enough. She jumped on social media and posted a tweet that summed up exactly what fans were thinking. At a certain point in the league's existence, I'll need Kelsey Mitchell to get the same whistle as other stars. The way she gets assaulted is insane, actually. And I've considered roping my sister in to have her office pursue charges. This wasn't just a throwaway comment from an injured player. Colson was dead serious about what she sees as systematic targeting of Indiana Fever players, and she wasn't afraid to put it out there for everyone to see. The tweet went viral almost instantly, and that's when Caitlin Clark herself stepped into the conversation.
But Kelsey Mitchell's whistle last night was horrific. And Kelsey drove to the basket a lot. She is the type of person that just like goes through a lot of defenders, and she wasn't getting a call. This really was not her game. She was not hitting it from the three whatsoever, but everyone is entitled to having a bad game here and there, and I think she was kind of due for one because of the tear that she's been on lately. Even Sid Colson took to Twitter to talk about it, saying, at a certain point in the league's existence, I'm gonna need Kelsey Mitchell to get the same whistle as other stars. The way she gets assaulted is insane, actually, and I've considered roping my sister in to have her pursue.
Clark's reply was short, sarcastic, and straight to the point. Careful, you're going to get fined. Just 5 words that perfectly captured everything wrong with the WNBA's approach to player criticism. It was a pointed jab at the league's recent crackdown on anyone daring to call out officiating, and Clark knew exactly what she was referencing. Her teammate Sophie Cunningham has practically become the WNBA's punching bag for speaking up about referee performance. She's been fined 3 different times for criticizing officials, $500 for a TikTok where she lip-synced lyrics calling refs stupid and useless, and another $1,500 for comments on her podcast about inconsistency.
You're going to get fined. Then Sydney Colson said, I can't get no more fine. So Lynn Dunn stated, agree, I will help pay the fine. So that's what Lynn Dunn stated yesterday about the fines, and Caitlin Clark said, love it. Everyone listen to Lynn. So it's definitely a lot of exchange going back and forth there. That's crazy. Erica's in the middle.
And it didn't stop there. Cunningham was slapped with a 3rd fine after calling out what she saw as rookie Paige Buchers getting every whistle from the officials. Those refs were giving her every freaking call last night. You couldn't touch her. That is so annoying to me. And if you're going to do that, then give it to our guards too. For simply pointing out obvious referee bias, the WNBA punished her again. Think about the message that sends. Players are essentially told, stay quiet and accept the treatment you get, or we'll fine you into silence. It feels less like league discipline and more like a protection racket dressed up as sports governance. Sydney Colson understood this perfectly, which is why her reply to Clark's sarcastic warning was just as sharp. I can't get no more fine. Translation. She's already paid the price for speaking truth to power, and she's reached her limit.
I love Paige to death. Do not get me wrong. I think, I think she's a hell of a player and, would love to play with her one day. But those refs were giving her every freaking whistle last night. You literally couldn't touch her. Couldn't touch her. And that shit is so annoying to me. And if you're going to do that, then give it to our guards. I just hate the inconsistency.
When whistles are player focused, that's I think that's a huge problem. But then again, I don't know what sport that doesn't exist. But she's a rookie. She shouldn't get whistles as a rookie.
Facts.
Is that fair to say?
We know, yes, or we know she's a good rookie and she's gonna get some whistles, but to get the treatment she got last night was.
Here's what makes the situation even harder to ignore. The numbers back it up. Caitlin Clark alone has taken 17% of all flagrant fouls in the league this season. 17%. That's not bad luck, that's a pattern. And she's not the only one. As Coulson pointed out, Kelsey Mitchell gets hacked constantly without calls to protect her. In the Sparks game, despite attacking the rim all night, Mitchell went to the free throw line just twice. Compare that to the star treatment other players receive, and the double standard becomes obvious. Instead of addressing the issue, the WNBA has chosen to fine players into silence. Protecting referees' feelings seems to matter more than ensuring fair play. When Sophie Cunningham spoke up, saying, "If I was a ref, I know I would mess up all the time." But when it's a simple call right in front of your face multiple times, what are you doing? The league didn't fix the officiating, it just fined her again.
More people are talking about the refs than that. More people are talking about Caitlin Clark's reaction than that. And that just sums up how bad the refereeing is that we have seen an unbelievable game. We have seen an unbelievable game. A game where you're like, okay, maybe, just maybe, the Fever are not even just maybe, the Fever put themselves in a great position. They put themselves in a great position to succeed. But now you're looking and you're like, what do people remember from this game? Caitlin Clark having to be restrained.
This goes beyond a few missed calls. It's a consistent pattern of bias that threatens the integrity of the entire league. Indiana Fever coach Stephanie White has been warning about it for months, calling the officiating egregious and pointing out the double standard. She's been fined for those comments too, because in today's WNBA, telling the truth is apparently a punishable offense. The favoritism has become impossible to ignore. In the same game, referees apply completely different standards. What's a foul for one team is a no call for another. Hard screens that get whistled against Indiana are suddenly clean plays when other teams set them. And then there's the technical foul disparity. Clark gets barked at by officials just for showing emotion after obvious no calls, while opposing players can commit actual flagrant fouls without real consequences. At times, it feels like two separate rulebooks are being enforced at once, and the Fever are stuck with the harsher one.
Right here, okay? It was this dude right here. And from what I've seen, the man has been a part of controversial calls all year. He's been a part of it all year, man. Oh my goodness. What was his name? Jack, what you say? Agan Abazi. Agan Abazi, man. This man is diabolical work to the WNBA. He's betting. Somebody get the shame bell. Ding, ding, shame. Ding, ding, shame. Ding, ding. Come on, man.
The league's strategy of using fines as intimidation looks even worse when you consider the salary structure. Sophie Cunningham, earning about $90,000 this season, has already been fined more than $2,000 for speaking up. That's a meaningful chunk of her paycheck, essentially punishing her for calling out poor performance in her workplace. But here's the irony: the WNBA's heavy-handed approach is backfiring. Instead of silencing players, every fine sparks more attention and support. Fever fans have even offered to cover Coulson's potential fines, while former executives like Lynn Dunn are openly siding with the players over league leadership. The timing couldn't be worse for the WNBA. The league is enjoying unprecedented growth, fueled largely by Caitlin Clark's sensational rookie season. Yet instead of protecting their stars, they're letting them take constant punishment on the court and disciplining anyone who dares to speak out. It's like owning the goose that lays golden eggs, and deciding to shoot it because it makes too much noise.
Hey, Ganabazi, how much money you got on that game? You took the Sparks to win, huh, didn't you? You took the Sparks to win, huh, didn't you? It's okay. It's okay. Maybe next time. Maybe next time you'll get the benefit of the doubt. The referees are bad, folks. The referees are absolutely horrendous in this game. There's no other way to call it for what it is. The referees are abysmal. And you can't help but wonder, is there foul play going on here? Is there foul play going on? Yeah, that's just one example, but we can go game by game and just look.
What makes Coulson's tweet even more powerful is that she's not even on the court right now. Recovering from a torn ACL, she's watching from the sidelines, and still couldn't stay silent about the way her teammates are being treated. That kind of solidarity highlights just how bad the officiating problem has become. Clark's quick, sarcastic response about potential fines shows how normalized this financial intimidation is. Players now have to think twice before speaking publicly, knowing every word could cost them money. Legitimate criticism of poor officiating is treated like insubordination, and here's the frustrating part: the WNBA could fix this. They could improve referee training, introduce real accountability, and stop treating player feedback as a personal attack. Instead, the league has chosen financial bullying and blame shifting. Meanwhile, the games suffer. Clear fouls go uncalled, phantom whistles appear in crucial moments, and the very stars who are supposed to be protected end up targeted without consequence. At times, it feels like some officials are watching a completely different game than everyone else in the arena.
Lawyer. Sid Colson is someone that everyone used to call the face of the league because she gets along with everybody. So when she's taking to Twitter to complain about something, it must be bad. Because usually she's just really funny, kind of cracking jokes here and there. And although this was pretty funny, there was a tone of seriousness, like calling out the referees, because the way that the Indiana Fever has been officiated, I think she finally understands from being on the team. And I'm telling you, this team sticks together. Her whistle was so bad last night that Lexi Hull even got a tech for it. And we are talking about Lexi Hull. Has not had a tech.
The broader pattern couldn't be clearer. The WNBA has built a system where some players get preferential treatment while others, especially on teams like Indiana, are held to a different standard. It's not about fair play or consistent rules, it's about protecting whatever narrative the league office wants to push. Now, with Clark and Colson refusing to stay silent, that system is being exposed for what it is: a rigged setup where outcomes are too often shaped by referee bias instead of basketball skill. The league's choice to fine anyone who calls this out only highlights how desperate it is to preserve the illusion of fairness, and the fact that players are willing to risk thousands of dollars in fines just to speak the truth shows how broken things have become. When professional athletes would rather take financial hits than remain silent, you know the problem runs deep.
Clark's got every single call imaginable, and it was just noticeable, to the point you got Caitlin Clark running on the floor, ready to crash out on a ref in the middle of the game, to the point where it's obvious. It's obvious. It's like the fix was in. The fix was completely in. So the WNBA needs to do something about this. Kathy Engelberg, you need to get a hold of what's going on here. The officiating Kelsey Mitchell getting knocked around like a damn pin.
So here we are, the WNBA's biggest stars are calling out the league's most glaring problem, while the league office hides behind financial threats instead of pursuing real reform. It's a perfect snapshot of everything wrong with how the league is being run. Clark and Colson deserve credit for having the guts to say what so many others are thinking. The real question is whether the WNBA will finally listen to its players and fans, or keep doubling down on intimidation and denial. If history is any guide, don't expect real change anytime soon, but at least now, thanks to players like Caitlin Clark and Sydney Colson, the curtain has been pulled back. The league can no longer hide behind its carefully constructed facade. The truth is out, and the world is watching.